Hi honeys, it's Michelle. So I'm here today to do my first ever mid-month wrap-up. And what I will do is tell you about the books that I've read so far this month and give you a little bit of a life update, and we'll see where it goes. Hi Marty. Marty is back. He's down at my feet moving around. I have been looking for a couch for him, or a chair, so you know, so he can sit right here next to me, but I'm not having luck so far. Of course, I see them every time I leave the house, but now that I'm looking for one, I can't find one. So, okay, I know you want to be in the video. I'm sorry. Now, I should probably mention this. I've been in a little bit of a reading slump. I've read, so we're what, 2 weeks into the month, and I've read 2.5 books. And I'm okay with that. I feel like I need to address that because it seems like so many booktubers that I've seen, they read like 20 books a month. And I think some of us, other booktubers and viewers, feel pressure to read that much. And the truth is, I do this because I love it. And if I read that much, I wouldn't love it anymore. And I probably wouldn't remember most of what I read because I'd be reading too much. You know, it'd be like speed reading or something. So I just wanted to mention that to you, that I have books I intend on reading every month, or books I hope I read every month, but I'm not necessarily trying to read as many books as possible. And I certainly hope that you guys don't feel like I'm trying to pressure you into reading a lot of books, because I know I do feel that way with some people when I watch their channels. So I just kind of wanted to let you know that. What are you doing? Oh, did you find a cat toy? Oh, Marty. He is flipping this thing all over. So if something comes flying over and hits me in the face, it's his fish that he loves. The fish's name, in case you're curious, is Gary. And he will, in the middle of the night, he'll just start doing this really loud, like, and he'll have Gary in his mouth, and he'll be walking around the apartment just very proudly proclaiming his ownership of Gary. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Okay, so the first book that I read is this one. It's called Bloodlight Magic by Liselle Sambury, and look at this cover. It is stunning. That alone makes it almost worth buying, right? And then underneath, let me show you what the cover looks under. Oh, it's this beautiful, like the color of lipstick I wore when I was a little bit younger kind of color. But so this book is about a teenage witch named Voya, and she lives in a family of witches, and her family, they're all from Trinidad, and they all live in a community that is, I guess, nothing but black people, or that's all that's mentioned, is all the witches in the community are all black and everything. And it's in the future, and it's a different kind of magic than I'm used to, or than I'm knowledgeable on, which made it more fascinating for me to learn about other kinds of witchcraft than what you might typically have here in America. Also, this book takes place in, I think it was Toronto, Canada. And this is a Canadian author. The point in this book is Voya, she's just coming of the age where it's time for her to learn from her ancestors what her gift is going to be. What kind of magic is she going to be able to do? And Marty, hey, I'm trying to record, sir. Sorry. So sorry, I'm looking at Marty and talking about this character. She gets told that she has to find her first true love and destroy them if she wants to have her gift. But not just her gift. Her whole family will lose their magical gifts if she does not succeed in this. And that's what this book is about. And it's the first book in a series. I absolutely loved this book. I love this character. She spends a lot of time. There's a family home that everybody lives in, and I love that. She spends a lot of time cooking, which I love. It just kind of felt like this cozy family, and some of her friends around her as well. I really enjoyed it. I give it 5 stars. I am really excited about the next one coming out. And I think part of why it took me so long to read this book, it took me probably a week and a half to read it. I think part of why it took me so long is because I don't typically read fantasy books, and I really wanted to soak it in, especially with it being the first one in a series. And I knew pretty quickly that I liked the author's writing and I would probably want to read the next book. So I did. I just kind of snuggled into the book and read it slowly, and I do that a lot. Then I read Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapena. This was a book too, and I'll show you what it looks like underneath here. Look at this. It like tore. I don't know. I heard somewhere that subscription book club books are never as good of quality as other books. That might be why the price is so much lower. I don't know if it's true. It makes sense. But yeah, it was kind of weird because you would think, oh, it was probably Marty or Zelda, right? One of my cats did it. No, I had it in a cat-free zone. Way up high on a shelf when it just suddenly had that mark in it. Maybe I have a ghost. I don't know. But this book is about, what were their names? Sorry, Fred and Sheila Morton. They are a rich couple, and their family comes over for Easter Sunday. And that night, after their family leaves, somebody kills them. And it becomes a situation where the siblings start questioning whether it was one of the siblings that did it. Not only do they have a lot of money to inherit, but they didn't exactly have the best relationship with their parents, especially not their dad. I thought this book was riveting. I got into it right away. I did not want to put it down. I read it very quickly. I think it took me 2 days to read it, which for me that's a lot because I do work full time. And I just really enjoyed it. I figured out about halfway through who done it. I wasn't sure if I was right though. I kept questioning, am I right? But I was right, but still, the fact that I kept questioning it was good enough for me. Out of all the Shari Lapena books that I have read, this is my favorite one. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. There was a reason I didn't give it 5. What was it? Oh yeah, okay. It was just a really interesting look at the family dynamic, the relationship between parents and their children, whether or not children feel loved or appreciated, how siblings feel about each other. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And the only reason I give it 4 is because the ending, I didn't like it. I don't want to give away why, but it's not that what I wanted to have happen didn't happen. It was just the way it ended felt kind of messy and abrupt in a way. I felt like it didn't really, and then in some ways it left some things open that I wanted to seamlessly end. So it felt like there was a little bit of fraying at the end of that garment, you know? Like I want it to be nicely altered and it wasn't. So, but it is definitely a book that I recommend reading. Sorry, my allergies are going wild today. I don't know if this happens to you. I know there's a lot of other people that this happens to. It's not just me, but when the seasons are about to change, my allergies go amok. And I can feel the seasons are about to change here. And so I'm ready for them to change now. And the book that I'm reading right now is actually a arc that the author sent to me. And I'm only halfway through, so I don't want to say what I think of it yet. But here's the book. It's called The Murderous Haircut of the Mayor of Bel Air, a Psychic Barber Mystery by Phillip Mottaz. This book is about a girl named Danica. She is a barber, and she's psychic. When she touches the back of someone's head, she can see what they're seeing. So when she asks them, what kind of haircut do you want? And she touches the back of their head, she can see what they want instead of having to listen to them describe it. And one day, a man sits in her chair, and when she touches the back of his head, she sees a body. Like he's standing over a body, as in she thinks he might have killed this guy. So she decides to look into it further, and that's all I'm going to say. But this is the first book in a series. I believe this is the author's first book ever. And I will be doing a video where all that I talk about is this book. It will be spoiler free, but what I like to do is explain to you my feelings and thoughts on a book in a spoiler free way. So feel free to watch that video as well. I will probably have posted that before I do my month end wrap up. So in the month end wrap up, I will tell you a little bit more briefly what I thought of it, but the full blown what I thought of it will be a separate video. So be sure to look out for that. Now, the reason that I'm sitting here today, I was actually going to sit on the couch with Marty and film this video out there, but Brad is working a lot of overtime right now, and I don't want to disturb him. So I'm actually, this bookcase is in our bedroom, and I'm able to come in here and close the door, and that way when he's in the office working, I'm not disturbing him. This last weekend, I ended up deciding to just really relax. I've also been working a lot between my career and then also YouTube, and I've just been feeling a little exhausted, so I decided to take a rest, and I had a Bosch marathon, and I really enjoyed that show, and I was so sad that it's over. And then I found out that it's not over. There's a spin-off of Bosch. So I'm super excited to watch the spin-off. What else? So it's kind of fun. Brad and I have both decided, well, I guess it seems like a lot of people have kind of let certain things go or abandoned certain things during all this lockdown and virus stuff. And we really put a lot of thought into an honest look into ourselves and our lives, and kind of come to the conclusion that what we have abandoned is our health and being in shape. And we've decided, we've been eating healthier for, I don't know, a week or two now, I guess, no, about 2 weeks. And then we're now going to be working out. We're going to start out just going to the park. He likes to play basketball. I like to go for like speed walking with some music playing in my earbuds. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And then as I get a little bit more of my weight off, then I want to get a gym membership, and so does he. But I'm at that weight though where I don't feel comfortable going to a gym. I know that probably sounds strange, but it just is what it is. But it was so wonderful going there and walking. And now it was hot, don't get me wrong, it's over 100 degrees, but it felt so good. And then they have these swing sets, and there was nobody there, so I went and swung on the swing set. And I had so much fun. I felt like a little girl again or something, just free, and it was just fun. So I think I'm going to make that part of my routine when I go there to walk, is riding on the swings, because I really enjoyed it. I did end up going to Barnes & Noble today. One of my favorite authors, she's a newer author to me. I discovered her, I want to say it was in November or December of last year. And I loved the book that I read of hers. So then I ended up getting her first book. Loved that too. And her third book came out today. The book that I got is The Family Plot by Megan Collins. And I don't know if you've heard of this book, but basically it's a family that grew up on like this island, like in a very desolate mansion, and they are a true crime family. They're really into true crime. I found out in one of the interviews that she did that to the point where the parents named each of their kids after someone dealing with a true crime story. So the main character's name is Dahlia. You can imagine who she's named after. Well, she had a twin brother named, I think, Charlie, who went missing when they were teenagers. And so all these years have gone by. Her dad has passed away, and her other siblings all go back to this creepy island for the funeral. And when they're at the cemetery and they go into the family plot to bury their dad, they find her missing brother's dead body with an axe in his head in the family plot. So now they're trying to figure out what happened to her brother all these years ago. And that's all I know, but it sounds amazing. And I cannot wait to read it. As soon as I'm done reading this, I will jump right into the boat of this book. I'm so excited though. I've been waiting for months. And one thing, during all the lockdown shenanigans that were going on, I told Brad that I had this feeling that I was never going to look forward to anything again. It felt like part of me was being shut down. And I'm starting to feel excited about things again. And I'm starting to look forward to things again. For example, I am over the moon excited about the fall this year, about Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, the whole holiday season. I am so excited about. And I'm just here to celebrate life, you know? I am here to live, and I'm just so excited. Well, one of the things that I've been super excited about is this book. That's how much I love her writing. So if you have not checked out this book, you might want to give it a look and see if it looks like something you might be interested in, because I think it really looks like a good book. And then I did get one other book. I've got this plan because I do live on a bit of a budget, and I don't really want to get a whole bunch of books because I already have so many in my TBR stack. I'm going to try to be reading through mostly books that I already own, with the exception of getting one new release each month and then my book of the month club each month. And I'm going to try to go on a buying freeze for a little bit otherwise. So it's not really a buying freeze because I'm still getting those two each month. And then the other thing is I'm reading Charlaine Harris books. And whatever the next book in the series is, if I don't have it in my collection I've been getting over here at used bookstores and thrift shops, then I will be buying those as well. So it's kind of like a half-assed buying freeze. But I just don't see a point in buying as many books as I might want to if I have this many books at home to read. And on top of that, I don't really want to spend that much money, you know? Anyway, I have a buddy read that I'm doing in September. And so it's not really a new release, but the book I bought for September is this. It's the Horrorstor by Grady Hendrix. I don't know if you've seen this. It kind of looks like an IKEA catalog, and it kind of reads like it as well. And it's pretty cool, actually. I was looking at these shelves and I was thinking, those are so cute. Are they really on page 89? And yeah, they are. So they do have the shelves there, and they've got the information on it. And I thought it was so funny, the way that he describes the different decor. A way to browse your memory. Kierling brings order and organization to your favorite books, movies, music, everything that adds beauty, elegance, and art to your life. It's so cool, right? And I guess what this book is about is a store like this. I don't know. It's about a store like that, and there's some kind of horror that happens in the store. It's got a map in here, which is really cool. It's very IKEA-ish. A traditional haunted house story in a thoroughly contemporary setting. Horrorstor is designed to retain its luster and natural appearance for a lifetime of use. I ended up getting it because it was the last one they had on the shelf. And I thought, you know what? Just in case, since I'm supposed to do it for a buddy read next month, I'm just going to go ahead and get it. Also, this was the last book that they had of the family plot as well. I'm not sure how many they ordered, but that was the only one that was left. Little side note, it was kind of weird when I went to check out at Barnes & Noble. The guy in front of me was asked if he wanted a bag for the book that he bought, and he said yes. And the guy checking him out said, "Would you be willing to reconsider?" And he said, "Why?" And he ends up telling him that there is a bag shortage that they're having at Barnes & Noble. And he said that it's, he's not sure why. He doesn't know if it's because they get them from overseas or what. And then I got in the car and I was driving home, and on my way home I saw at the gas station that gas is now $4.15 a gallon. That went up almost $1 in a month. Just boom. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's pretty crazy. So anyway, that's my mid-month update with personal life updates as well. Just a little bit of me sprinkled in there. Let me know what you think of this. Like, do you like this kind of format where I talk about my life as well? Or do you want me to just talk about books? I'm cool with that too. Just let me know what you like. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night.